I like this comment. It says that they were part of a coven a couple of decades ago. Part of me misses it. And the other part of me is like, nope, we good as solitary. And so I just want to talk about, it's okay to be a solitary witch, right? We have this kind of misconception that to be our most powerful, to be, a real witch, you have to be part of an in-person coven. And that's part of why I created our coven, so you can say you have a coven, but you don't have to meet in person. You don't have all this kind of what I've come to see as like drama, right? A lot of times when a bunch of pagans or witches get together. So very similar to you, when I was 13, I became a witch, and I always had like one other friend who was a witch, and we would, mess around and do spells or whatever, or sometimes celebrate the holidays together, but it was like no pressure, and it was only like a couple of us, right? And then in college, I actually found a pagan group. So someone had like put on a bulletin board, like, come to this person's house for a pagan group. And my mom's not overprotective at all. And she's like, I'll go with you, because it's like a man's name. And then the moment she realized he was gay, she's like, oh, I don't ever have to come back with you. So she just like made sure I was safe. I was going to be kidnapped or whatever. And so in that pagan group, it was awesome because it wasn't a coven. So we got together once a month. Everyone was doing different stuff. Like, somebody was super into like Buddhism and used that like with the witchy path. Another person, my friend Jeff, was like super pagan, and he was doing like a lot of high magic and, kind of what I would consider like more advanced. I was more into like Wicca and folk magic at the time. And then, so we're all different ages, which was cool. It was like, I was not the youngest. I was like 19, and there was a woman that would bring her granddaughter who was like 14, and we would all get together, and that was a blast. Like, we had field trips to a wolf sanctuary. We went to this like other cool place out in the desert and did like a sound bath, and this is like early 2000s when that stuff wasn't really happening. And I think that was a great experience because it was a whole bunch of people getting together just to discuss certain things. What are you reading right now? What are you up to? What's going on in the pagan community? Perfect. Like this, and that's what I tried to create in our coven. It was like, everybody's welcome. Put out some questions, some topics. There's a live chat. We're all over the world. We're international. We have different paths, different ages, and it's like, let's get together and you learn. I've learned in there, right? I've been a witch for 3 decades, and I've learned from people saying different things, or they ask me a question. It's like, yeah, well, why do I do that? Like, great question. Let me reflect upon that, or let me learn. So yeah, very similar experience. The closest thing I had to a coven was for a while was going to like a class. The woman, she would teach us for like, it was about a year-long class, and the idea was like, once you did the class, you could join their coven, but she kept hitting on me, and I just wasn't interested. So then I was like, I don't want to be in this anymore.